upside down underneath of them big, gigantic Chevrolets and, Chrysler New Yorkers stuff under the dash, it'd be a mobile. That was a mobile, Base mobile.
Yeah, watch your kneecap. Yeah, right? You don't want to hit that with a kneecap.
Yeah. No, but imagine that, though, a mobile. You're like, yeah, I'll get my mobile. That thing be like big, big enough to start a fire.
I'm just waiting for a cap to blow. But if we tell them to go fuck themselves, then we can go ahead and send our own.
Yeah, well, you can expect caps to blow when they get old, and especially those .1 non-polarized.
Yeah, all you need is a Panasonic chassis radio. If it hasn't blown yet, it will.
That's right.
Yeah, mine blew one night while we were just kind of talking. And then I had to, fireworks. It was like New Year's or something. Somebody's out there in DX land talking pretty clear, huh?
Hey, we all were contacting Oklahoma earlier tonight, hoping the wheat fields would come in.
Hey, Roger. Well, it seems like it's nice and quiet anyway. At least it's not miserable.
Yeah, well, it was miserable earlier. Sandbagger was getting his lips cut off.
By who and what? Was it Maria?
No, just plain skipland noise, man. It was just noise. The only one that came on top of the pile was this 777 out of Oklahoma. Everybody else was, it was just the Cacophonia S9 Heterodyne.
When was this?
When was this? Just about 8 o'clock.
Never said anything to me about having trouble hearing me. I can always step on the gas if that is the case.
Oh, yeah, we were talking right after 8 o'clock, and you had said something. I told you had to say it again because you just got your lips cut off.
Yeah, I thought you were referring to, like, Sparky or somebody.
Oh, no, it was DX.
Hey, I resemble that.
Good Lord, no, man. In that way, he would put the maul down on them DX people. Straighten them right out.
Oh, yeah, and Dave, you usually come in here at S8 or better, but, the regular noise was at a 7, and then when the strong stations come in, they're at a 9, so, do the math.
Yeah, I'm just spoiled because I'm used to having to beam away from that nonsense, so it's 2 or 3 or 4 S units lower than what you're hearing.
Right now, on the Shakespeare, you're giving me, like, 8.5. That's pretty good.
Well, as long as the noise is dropping down, then it's okay. If I'm getting close to the noise, just let me know. I'll throw another log on the fire.
Oh, no, it's all over now. That was 50 minutes ago or 40 minutes ago. But, yeah, actually, you're close. When you swing up to an S9, it's better than, it's like 8 3/4 to swing into an S9 on a Shakespeare 740. Classic Radio Roundup. Hybrid radio is the theme for tonight. So that's what it is. PLL solid state with gold glass, everything else. Everybody run through your list while this Watergate is rolling. Countywide radio.
Okay, Roger, right on. 27115.
That is correct. 27115 and train on this Trashy tram. This one here is the one with the green lights, just for my own reference.
You have a green lighted tram?
Yeah, it's got green LEDs in the windows for aesthetics, as opposed to white. And the other one I have orange. 10-4.
Orange is almost like filaments, dim filaments.
It's pretty. I bought a bunch of, what is that base called, Bagger? That screw in LEDs. What's that base called?
Screw in LEDs?
Yeah, what's the base, not screw in, there's different types of bases on light bulbs. One is a mogul, and what is the other one?
Oh, like the bayonet versus
Tell Roger, the bayonet base LEDs. multiple colors. 10-4?
You need blue. I don't like blue, except the kind of blue that SBE does, but I'm not into that blue nonsense. I'd rather have yellow.
Yeah, I'd rather have like something that looks like it's dim, a dim white bulb or incandescent. That's just one man's humble opinion.
Yeah, I got green on this one and orange on the other one. The specifications are subject to change. Bulbs may change without any notice, too.
Even tickle. Wow.
And I heard Ken out there a little while ago. I didn't get to acknowledge him.
Hello, Ken.
Hello.
Hello, Ken. Countywide Radio.
I can't even know how to hear you. Train. Was that you, Ken, talking about the blue LEDs, or was that Tickle? That was Tickle. All I hear is Jose and Hose B.
That's right.
It's way down there on my receiver tonight.
It's just noise. It sucks everybody's signal.
I'm getting big time, Skip.
27, 1151.
Seems like I hear Countywide, a recording of Countywide in the background.
The best form of flattery is imitation.
That's right.
So I'm certainly not offended by that. So one more time, run this by me real quick, Bagger. Can you think like this transformer on this unregulated 12-volt supply is pretty beefy in my opinion, but I do away with that center tap, then I just use the left and the right taps or the whatever. And then I wanted to ask, you said to voltage double it and then regulate it to where I want it. Will I still have at least 4 amps available on that thing, or will it be less?
You're not going to voltage double it. You're going to just go with a bridge rectifier, the 4-diode rectifier, and you'll be getting the full output power from the transformer instead of half of it.
Oh, okay. All right, I got you. I guess I misunderstood.
Yeah, you got to make sure you heat sink that. That's not a big amp power supply, but you get a nice bridge rectifier. I don't know if you've got one in your spare parts bin or not, or you can make one out of 4 diodes.
Yeah, I just make one out of 4 diodes. But then, you know what? I got one. It's heat sinked and all. I just have to use it right. It's it's meant for a British bike, but it's a 12-volt full wave rectifier.
Yeah, there you go. And then whatever voltage comes out of it, it'll be like 25 volts or something.
Aha, that's okay. That's what I mean. Okay, now, so yeah, all right. Now it's crystal clear now. 10-4.
But you'll have to change that filter cap because that's a 15-volt filter cap. You don't want to feed 25 volts into it. You need to put a 25 volter in there, or better.
Yeah. I planned on beefing all that up anyway. Yeah, that was going to get tossed, but I still need to use that kind of a value.
Uh-huh. Then you're going to have to build yourself a regulator circuit. That's even more fun. You can keep it simple, though. You can use a buffered zener with a regular 12-volt, well, not 12-volt, that's probably maybe like a 14-volt zener, and just tie that to the base of a nice big beefy transistor like a 23055, and mount that on the back of the power supply with a heatsink on it, and, drive that with the base of the transistor and put your 25 volts into the collector, and your output is on the emitter, and you should have a regulated voltage coming out.
I don't think I have one of them transistors that you spoke of, though.
Yeah, you need to take one of them heavy-duty TO3 case jobs. Or you can probably get one in a power tap variety. 23055s are good for 15 amps.
This is getting way more complicated for a 4-amp power supply.
Well, nothing's ever going to be totally easy.
Well, we'll see. Maybe I can. I don't know. We'll revisit that later.
Wilmington checking in. Hey, Wilmington.
Hello, Wilmington. Welcome to Classic Radio Roundup.
The Wilmington train waving at you also. I hope you hear me because I'm not pumped up. Did they answer us?
I don't know. How about it down around Wilmington? How about you down around Wilmington trying to check in a Classic Radio Roundup? The door is open.
Was that Flying J down there? No, for sure, but sometimes they have their own little thing, and maybe they're running it right now, and then somebody was just checking in.
Yeah, all right. Maybe you can hear me now. All right, Wilmington, kick it on back.
Yeah, I don't know. He kicked it on up, but he doesn't seem to be receiving.
Was it maybe no streak?
I don't know. Somebody said Wilmington checking in.
I don't like Jay's voice more so than no streak.
Yeah, I'm with you, Train. No Streak's not. He's not Wilmington. He's Maryland. I can twist the throttle up a little bit. How about it down around Wilmington? Hey, down around Wilmington, if that's you, Flying J, or anyone else from Wilmington trying to check in down there, we heard you. Up here in southeastern Pennsylvania on Classic Radio Roundup. It's your turn. The door is open.
Just for your general information, earlier I heard what seemed to be a recording of Classic Radio Roundup. I heard Pete's voice. It's possible that somebody is playing one of the gates over the air.
Oh, yeah, it's entirely possible. They're documented, they're uploaded, they're there for public consumption. All it takes is somebody with internet access and a CB radio.
Wait a minute here, Train. What are you trying to say here? Are you saying that we have a master gator out there?
You just wanted to say that.
Yeah, well, Sandbagger and his word games, you know.
Yeah. Welcome to Fun with Word Games on Classic Radio Roundup.
Earlier I heard what sounded like one of the old gates. Just kind of running in the background, a real low signal. Like somebody's out there just playing it and throwing a little carrier. Maybe we have fans.
Well, in a few months we'll need air conditioners.
We all have fans, yeah. Well, and then again, imitation is the finest form of flattery. But there was a break for Sparky out there that I heard.
Go ahead, Breaker.
Sparky. There's two power supply. One is, or actually both of them are being well. One is ST-150. The other is ST-500.
Yeah, the 500, that's like 40 volt or 40 amps, and the 150 is like a 5 amper. Actually more, yeah, 12 volts into, it's 150 watts, I guess. Does that sound right?
Volts times amps equals watts.
Yeah, the other one's a 500.
Gotta have the watts.
Yeah, so take 12 volts into 500 there.
Can't make volts without amps and watts. Can't make watts without volts and amps. Yeah, that's it.
And you gotta factor in the efficiency and all too.
Get up on the interweb. Meanwhile, SP500. I think that's a 40 amper, Mr. Kent.
There's always loss in any system.
The other one I just chucked in, that's the ones, Pete, I have a bunch of them, the 150s. So,
Yeah, that would be cool to have something with a little bit of headroom. You know, I hate running in any situation. You know, I hate running, you know, things to their limit. I like to keep headroom.
They're like the size of four cigarette packs together, you know.
Yeah, that sounds like it'll fit in my box.
That's what she said.
Yeah, and I remember to bring an elbow too, because I gotta have a little space in there for the radio. You put the radio in, and it's like just barely fits. You gotta be so careful.
Yeah, the meanwhile, you can turn up to like 14.5 volts too.
Yeah, as long as I run 14 volts plus or minus, I'm fine with that. It runs like around that in my car. You know, car's voltage, you know, can vary quite a lot, really.
Yeah, Ken, that's rated at 40 amps. 40 amps, that's a big boy.
Yeah, okay.
That'll almost run a 4-pill. Like a 4-pill 1446 it would run. It'll run 428.79 if you don't push it too hard. What was that, Bagger? I said it'll run 428.79 if you don't push it too hard. That's what I'm talking about, because he was like, oh yeah, you gave me like a 7 ampere and like a 5 ampere. I was like, Nah, 40 amps will do it though, because that 4-pill I made over here, running it, normally the way I do it only draws about 30 amps or 28 amps. Yep, all you need is a extension cord with the ground.
Anybody got a calculator handy? Do percent?
What are we calculating?
What's 15% of 13.8?
Okay, I can get a calculator for that.
Yeah, I don't have one handy. It's tied up. I can't do percent that. 10%, 20%, 15%. Now I need a calculator.
I have a calculator. I've seen it works. And of course, it does not work.
Well, 10% of 14 volts would be 1.4, and then plus 0.7, so 7 point, that's 2.1. So this thing says 13.8 volts DC plus or minus 15%. So it sounds like it can go up to 16 and as low as 11 something.
Oh, that's the unregulated supply.
No. That's the supply voltage requirements for the Yaesu 8900.
Oh, okay.
15% times 13.8 for 2.07.
Say that the equals again.
15% times 13.8 for 2.07.
2.07, so plus or minus 2 volts. So yeah, probably 15.8 to 11.8.
Hey, Ken, for those limits, what does it do? Does it shut down?
I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying, this is just what it says, supply voltage plus or minus 15%. So I was just trying to figure, okay, that's 11.8 to 15.8. So probably above or below that, the radio says,
Yeah, that might be why it didn't work.
Just trying to figure things out, possibly open possibilities.
Yeah, can refill my water glass here.
Yeah, and I'm on a coffee cup run. Countywide Radio, Channel 13, Classic Radio Roundup.
Hey, Ken.
Yes.
That other one, that 150, that's good for 12.5 amps. So that's not too shabby.
That'll run a 2-pill.
Yeah, see, I got the good stuff. And you can run it on 240. I was trying to see what you could turn it up to here. Where'd everybody go? You suppose they hadn't got quiet. It did get quiet. What's happening, Night Train? Oh, not too much, Skeeter. How about yourself? Doing alright. Right now, you're, I take care of a radio interference problem at my neighbor's. 10-4, you're coming. They said that you stopped over and took care of that antenna mount for him. Yeah, I wonder if he hooked it up yet. Well, I don't know whether he actually hooked it up or not, but he was pretty satisfied with the installation. That's all we do, high quality installations at the Lhasa Apsu base station. So Roger, guess what, man? I'm working in your neighborhood. What'd you say? That's a good looking antenna you got there. I wouldn't mind having one of them. 10-4. Well, how come you're a little bit muffly? You got the audio up real high? I don't know. I haven't heard nobody say anything. Skeeter. I think Dave called you. Yeah, go ahead, Dave. Yeah, Operator Ron's in there talking to you and Night Train when you're in there. He's trying to get back. All right, Operator Ron, come on. What's going on? Not a whole lot. What are you talking on? I just turned the courier on. Well, it's working up here in the Saratoga station here. Yeah. I got that big mama on my truck now. Are you on the Big Mama? No. I was on it today. All tuned up. That's right. Well, how's the years on it? Very good. Quiet. How many more you got left? I got 2 more. You got 2 more left over? Yeah, I got one that's all painted black right now. But the other one, it's in the bin. Hang on, I have to give the dog some water. He's in Night Train. Evening there, Dave. Good evening, Ron. How you doing there, Train? You'll be up there pretty good. Ron's smoking tonight. It sounds nice, too, Ron. There you go. Yeah, I had the current 23 on. I shut that off because there is a heavy
sound modulation muffled?
I wouldn't call it muffled. It's probably a little on the bassy side.
Hey, Roger. Do I have to get up and make adjustments?
Hey, all you gotta do is turn your transmitter tone control a little on the clockwise side. And...
All right, hold on.
I thought this noise would be out of here by now.
Yeah, well, I guess that's the downside of having a later daylight now.
10-4.
It don't get dark till 7:30. Skip doesn't get out of here until 9 o'clock.
Yeah, Maria's hit me hard. All right, check it out now, Wagger. See if it sounds that way.
Say what again there, Trey?
Check me out and see if it sounds bassy still.
Probably got a little louder.
Come on, is it muffled?
Nah, it's not muffled.
10-4. All right, well, I turned the treble up a little bit on that microphone.
That took that fuzzy out of it. It was a little, I don't know what you call it. Oops.
Yeah, it shouldn't have been turned that direction. It was almost at like 9 o'clock. I don't usually run it like that. I don't know how that happened.
The dusting lady dusted your radio for you.
Don't let her hear you say that, boy.
10-4.
I didn't even know you were in there, Dave.
Well, you just said hello to me.
No, I mean, I was in here earlier, maybe about 9:15.
Oh, I've been listening all night.
You were supposed to be the one that said, boy, it got quiet then.
Oh, no!
Didn't get quiet yet.
Oh, yeah, it did. Skeeter had to call it.
Oh, yeah. It's time for radio adjustments. And hopefully your radio doesn't need many of them. Although I'm looking at the clock and it's almost time to switch, I would think. Well, yeah. Yeah, I guess you could say theme radio is officially over. Whenever you want to switch to and go back to freeform style, go for it, move ahead. It's not too late to whip it good. Yeah, I like the theme night thing because it makes you go for something otherwise may need to be exercised anyway. Yeah, hopefully Pete turned off his gate and restarted it again. Otherwise, we might end up losing it. That's right. This radio's got a little asymmetry to it, but now we got it on the air anyway. Hey, man. Use them or lose them, you know? Yeah, I do have, I think my best sounding version. This chassis is a T-Berry. I think it's called a Model T or something.
Oh, what, the Panasonic?
Yeah, I think it's a T-Berry version. I got the Colt version. I think it's called Midnight Special or something, man. Definitely gonna get that thing running.
Yeah, my only version is the very old version, the Lafayette Comstat. That's the only one I have. That's a Panasonic. I have a couple 25A lying around that are kind of in various stages of disrepair. That was another project I wanted to do, but that's they'll end up becoming parts reviews before they ever get fixed.
And I probably got a chassis or two that I could throw you. I tried a couple of them Comstats, no love, man. Didn't get one that worked.
Yeah, you're like 05. He had like a dozen of them. He finally got one working, and it was the best-selling radio he ever had, and then he blew it up again.
All right, well, let's clear the water. I am not like 05, and I have 1.5.
What, you're not like the charter member of the 05 fan club?
Oh, I'm a fan.
or have you signed up to attend the 05 Institute of Technical Excellence?
Hey, I got the documents in the trunk to prove it.
I am a fan, though, because if you turn all your knobs to the right or to 11, then things will start hitting the fan. Brown things.
Hey, Pete, did you recycle your video gate yet?
Well, I got a late start to begin with. We're only 32 minutes into it.
Oh, you did get a late start, because we're over an hour and 20 minutes into the roundup.
Well, I was otherwise engaged with power supplies and other things going on.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm a busy man.
Busy.
Gotta let dogs make poop around the ranch house. That takes up time too, you know.
I do have to set a little fan on top of this radio. It's just a little 2-inch computer fan, and then I just slide a 9-volt battery up next to it.
Battery-powered fan?
Yeah, well, the ones that come out of the microphones, I save them, you know. They're too dead for the microphone, but they'll play till they die with the fan.
There you go. That's frugalness to its extreme.
Mm-hmm.
How long does it take for a fan to drain the battery? I would think that would drain it relatively quickly.
Now you'd be surprised. It'll go for an hour or so, sometimes more.
Might as well get every last bit of energy out of it. No point in wasting it if you can use it. Makes sense to me.
And that's all the radio needs. It cools right down.
I think I'll go start doing that. I got a bunch of them little fans around. And then the 9 volts, yeah, they still got enough that you can tingle your tongue, but not enough to go, yeah, that one's good.
The taste of 9 volts.
If it leaves an aftertaste, you know it's good.
Yeah, man. I have a calibrated 9-volt tongue.
You know, it's too funny though. I mean, we've all done it. How did it come about? You just intuitively stick your tongue on it. Yep, it's good.
Yeah, you could probably say, 7.5 volts. All right, this one, 8.8.
Yeah, my tongue's not very precise, but it'll tell you if it's good or not.
Yeah, I can tell if it's good or not. If it leaves an aftertaste, it's still good.
Yeah, my tongue's got 3 levels. Fully charged, sort of half-assed, and dead.
That's too funny how we all intuitively learned that's how you test 9-volt batteries.
electricians I used to work with, they would test 120 with a C shape in their one hand. I just would not do that.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend testing 13K with that either.
Yeah, or how about 35 kV?
I'm not saying I haven't tried it, and it does work, but it's not recommended.
Explain. I don't know what it is you're talking about. You make a C with your hand? How do you test 120 with that?
And when you make a C shape with your forefinger and your thumb, it acts like a resistor. And you just feel a tingle.
You saying you put one lead on each, your forefinger and your thumb in a C shape?
That is correct.
So it's just going, yeah, so the circuit is that part of your hand and that's it.
Exactly.
Yeah, don't touch anything else with your other hand.
Right, I got you.
Don't be wet, on bare feet, that kind of thing.
Got you.
Leaning up against something metal.
We used to do that stuff when I was in tech school. We used to have contests. We had this big power supply that it was variable. We go up to 350 volts. And we sit there with the leads, and we're just barely touching them with our fingers and seeing how far up we could turn that supply before we had to let go.
Well, how high do we get?
I got to about 180, and that was all I could handle.
180 volts.
Yeah, see, the secret was making sure your hands were really, really dry, and you just barely touched it. I mean, if you really grabbed onto it, you get nailed.
Yeah, you got it.
I think there's a breaker in there. Hello, neighbor. Oh, where'd he go?
Is he on a walkie-talkie?
No, I don't think so.
I didn't hear anybody.
No, my neighbor, 075 was in there. I heard him say break channel. That's why. Say hello and good evening.
I'm here. I didn't think anybody heard me, so I thought maybe I need to switch boxes, but I'm here.
I can't help but hear you.
Oh, where you at? I hear you. I hear you. If it was modulating or what the deal was, no one answered me. I thought, well, I guess I just gotta switch boxes here and try out this little bit bigger cardboard box.
I hear you now, but I didn't hear you before. I do hear you now, but I didn't hear you before.
Therefore, modulation, well, this is a good modulation, because if I had the other radio on, you'd be complaining I got too much modulation.
Wow, you don't usually, maybe you don't know me well enough, but I'm not one to usually complain much about anything unless I can't understand you.
I respect my elders, and I respect Sandbagger's years over there.
Oh, I'm an elder. First it was a senior citizen discount at the KFC. Now I'm an elder. One foot is definitely in the grave.
Yep, there it is, Sandbagger. Now, the same thing is sort of washed over me. I'm going places and people are calling me sir. I'm like, that's my father.
You, buddy.
It doesn't matter if they're 1 day or 50 years older than me, they're an elder.
Yep, Sandbagger's my elder.
Yeah, thankfully, I think 44 Night Train had me beat, so. Still old. Yeah, but like my wife always says to me, I might be old, but you're always going to be older.
You catch up with me?
Well, the inverse is true in my situation, but I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole.
It's sort of an 11.5-foot pole, you might think of that.
You're always older than
We always joke about when we, at the And when we were kids' age, she would have been old enough to be my babysitter, but that would have been the only time she would ever talk to me.
I already know I'm old when people call me strangers, perfect strangers. Address me as sir.
Yeah, I was just saying that. That's where it sort of hit me now. You know? People call me sir. I'm like, that's my father.
Yes, sir. 24 Dave is really sir.
Officers are sir. I was enlisted. I worked for a living.
Yeah, you were peeling potatoes and making reconstituted eggs.
That's right. Somebody had to make the food. No army in the world marches on an empty stomach. That was why Napoleon lost his empire. He outstripped his supply line.
He needed food.
He's French too.
Well, he wasn't actually French himself. He was Corsican.
That was French too.
That was why he was successful, because he was not a Frenchman.
Uh-oh, he was an imported Frenchman.
This is the
Like that, St. Patrick. St. Patrick was not even Irish, man.
That's also correct.
Yeah. How about that?
He was sent to Ireland to get those heathens under the rule of the Catholic Church. He wound up becoming a champion for the Irish.
I mean, it was St. Patrick's Day. This man wasn't even Irish.
History is full of all kinds of ironies.
Yeah, and the plot can't sink because it's made of irony.
The plot will float along.
I gotta get into my scrap metal pile here, find a piece of sheet aluminum I can make a cover for my homebrew amp here, so I can stick that in the car.
Yeah, it's a good driver radio. I heard you no problem today.
Yeah, it's 3 dB stronger. It was only putting out 2 watts. I turned it up to 4.
Yeah, it brought the modulation right up.
Come across any plate steel, let me know.
Plate steel? No, I got aluminum. I can bend that. Steel's a little harder.
Well, I'm talking about me. I need a piece of flat steel.
Big.
It don't have to be real big. Maybe 6 inches. 6 inches a foot, something like that.
6 inches by 6 inches square, or?
Yeah, something like that. What I gotta do is I gotta reinforce my beam when I put it up, and the mounting bracket, or the mounting spot where I mount the beam to the pipe, it needs some reinforcement.
Okay, I know what you want to do. You want to make a backing plate.
Yeah, so it ain't gotta be nothing fancy. It don't have to be, beautiful. It don't need to be real thick. Maybe, and this is going out on an 1/8 inch, or I don't know. Just something. I have like sheet metal, but that isn't gonna work. That's too thin.
Yeah, I know just what you need. I'll have to look out in the garage. I might even have a backing plate from an old beam from a long time ago.
We got this contractor down the road here, Lee. shop there. And I've been wanting to stop by to see if he had any, or if I could give him a couple bucks for it, whatever. I just haven't had the opportunity. Every time I go past there, they're closed.
I guess he doesn't do much business then.
I don't know if they're closed because they're not there, or closed because they're out on the job site. I don't know. A friend of mine said just go over there and take a look and grab a piece, but knowing my luck, that'll be the day that Adam Township's sitting in the parking lot there waiting for a speeder to go past.
Yeah, that would kind of complicate things.
Little piece of flat steel now costs me, quadruple the price, but then, on top of all the other crap.
Yeah, you'll need that.
Stop at the scrapyard. You can buy plate steel there.
Got no scrapyard around here.
It's one in Pottstown, isn't it? Back there off Industrial Boulevard or something.
On industrial.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's a good way to get steel. You get it at just above scrap price.
I'm not too familiar with it. I just moved here a year ago. I still don't know where everything's at.
That's all right. I moved up here 15 years ago, and I still don't know where everything's at.
I like it though. It's just far enough from the city.
Yeah, well, the city keeps following me, though. I gotta go even further.
Yeah, we were talking about that. Schuylkill County seemed to have low taxes.
I lived in this area all my life except for my time in Uncle Sam's Canoe Club, and I'm still learning what the hell's around here.
My problem is I can't remember nothing anymore. That whole elder thing, Nobody will tell me where there's a place at, and a week later I forgot.
Like, one thing is, like, UPS. There's no UPS around. None.
What do you mean? UPS store?
Yeah, if I want to take a box and ship it, there's nowhere to go.
There ain't no work in Schuylkill County, that's the problem.
Yeah, there's a UPS store over there in Coventry. You go down 100, and right there where the pool place and all is there, right on the left-hand side.
But how can Pottstown not have freaking UPS? I don't get it. I don't understand it.
I don't think there's one in Pottstown, but the one in Coventry is not far from Pottstown.
It's in the Staples over there in the little shopping center where Giant is.
There's another one over there, too?
You just go in Staples, and behind the counter is your UPS hub. They also take United States Post Office packages as well.
What are Royers for, too? I didn't know that.
I always just take my stuff over to one in Coventry, but yeah. And FedEx has a depot right up the street here, right? So you can do it, FedEx can do that easy.
What's going on, Rare Bear?
Not a lot. Just listening to the local.
10-4, welcome to Classic Radio Roundup, Sparky 775 on my Gemtronics GTX 5000.
Oh my God. How the hell do you remember all that? Well, I don't know if I'm going to be here, because I'm only going to cover 148 barefoot, so there you have it, fellas.
Hello, Rare Bear. 441 is Spitfire Countywide Radio on my glow on glass Shakespeare 740 hybrid radio, 40 channel AM.
Wow, okay, I see what's going on here. I get anything to do 2 feet. It's been a while. I hear you out here once in a while. I never get the opportunity to get back at you. You're quite a busy man.
Yeah, I don't have as much time to play radio as I'd like, but you know, that's life. But good to hear you on. Glad you checked into the roundup, and all good numbers right back at you. Rare Bear, Countywide Radio.
Lost your audio.
No, I didn't. I must have been soft on the key.
Whatever the case is, that whole transmission, except for the very first syllable, was lost.
Oh, uh-oh. Well, yeah, I gotta get hard. I gotta mash this thing. Turner +3 microphone. Anyway, all good numbers right back at you there, Rare Bear. I won't say that all over again. Countywide.
I think I've heard it before. Well, all sounding good. It's hard to say how he sounded tonight, because we all know how he sound. But anyway, I just came out for a few minutes to see what was going on right near the home 20 here, and I shouldn't do anything. It's usually quiet evenings anyway, and see what's happened. Good talking to all you fellas. I'll be listening and standing by. See ya.
On a side note, I got like, I don't know, 5 watt or better resistor at 100 ohms across those terminals, and it puts the thing right at 15.5.
All I heard was 100 ohms, twisted at 16.5, before it actually had no audio.
Alright, I gotta watch the meter here. I put a 100 ohm resistor across on that unregulated supply, like a 6 watt resistor, and it puts the thing right at 15.4 volts.
Yeah, well, I bet that resistors get good and hot.
No, not really. Look, maybe. No, there's barely any temperature to the touch. Wonder if that'll work at 15.4 volts. Maybe the radio will like that. But isn't that taking away some of the current available? But I guess it doesn't that much matter if I stay at 10 watts.
Yeah, it does take some of the current away. I mean, you're burning some of it up and using it, you know, converting it to heat, but you're probably drawing only about 150 milliamps with a 100 ohm resistor.
Well, maybe I'll just do that and try that. I don't know. I'm going to bring this regulated supply for now and fool around with this other one.
Yeah, the idea of an unregulated supply makes me cringe.
Yeah, me too. It sort of does.
Stop like that.
It's alright to use on a test bench for a quick source, but I hate to run an expensive radio on it.
Unregulated supplies are good for lighting up light bulbs.
And powering Class C amplifiers.
Only if they're really big unregulated supplies with big fat transformers
That's right.
that weigh 300 pounds. Otherwise known as an arc welder.
Yeah, but so many of the amplifier makers that they run them that way. I don't know why. I guess to cut costs.
Well, you gotta remember, to make a supply regulated means you gotta have regulator devices that'll handle that kind of current. You're talking about a supply that's got, 100, 200 amps. What the hell are you gonna regulate that with? Man.
A whole lot easier just to make a lot of current available at voltage, but voltage is gonna vary. Yeah, no regulation, no parts.
That's right. As long as you don't run away on the thermal, you're okay.
Well, that kind of brings up a question. How is it that, well, I guess, I don't know, but I'm going to ask the question anyway. How is it like on tube radios and whatnot, you can get away with unregulated supplies? I guess tubes don't care so much, huh?
Yeah, tubes are a voltage device. High voltage, low current.
because that, an example, that power supply I built for the LMAC, it's not regulated.
No, but see, unregulated supplies are okay if you design them for a specific voltage under a steady current. Then you're good to go. But if the current load changes, like the one from receive to transmit, then unregulated isn't going to be able to hold it. So,
Oh, I see. So that's kind of like where you can get away with it. So you got a steady load all the time.
Yeah, so you can design the supply to put out the voltage you want under that load. If the load changes significantly, the voltage is going to change. But, if everything's working normally. I mean, when you were repairing all those tube radios and you would look at the voltage and you'd say, well, it's supposed to be 260 volts, but I'm getting, 270. Well, then there's a load in there somewhere that's not pulling down what it should. And you probably got an open resistor or, a really high resistance one. That's how that's a clue that you look for.
Aha, I said. So great changes from specified voltage in that situation is an indicator of something else.
Yeah, so when a tube radio specifications change without notice, there's a problem in there.
Time to get out the test equipment and start investigating. Classic Radio Roundup. Keep them glowing.
When I first rebuilt my first D201, I had it was a 260 volt or 280 volt circuit in there, and it was like me reading 315. I'm like, it's never going to be high unless there's a load missing somewhere. And sure enough, there was a resistor in there that was out of tolerance, big time.
That's real helpful in the troubleshooting toolbox to keep that in mind. If your voltage is high from where it should be, then there's a load missing. Conversely, if your voltage is low, it may not be that it's okay in its power supply, as it were, but there's an excessive load present.
Either that or the supply series resistors have opened up or gone high, and they can't supply the voltage.
But what I'm saying is it's not necessarily that.
No, it could be a couple of things, but at least it gives you a clue that you need to look for something.
But see, that would be like my first inclination, that we think, well, the voltage is low, there's something wrong with the supply. But that's not necessarily the case. It could be there's a problem, there's too much load, and something's shorted out or whatever.
Yeah, that's when you start looking for stuff that's getting really hot.
But that's all helpful hints in the troubleshooting toolbox for when you're, you gotta, when you're working on tube radios, you gotta think a bit differently than solid state, just because of what you stated there about being voltage device versus current device.
Yeah, you can kind of use the same techniques with solid state too. It's just that the voltage is going to vary a lot less, because you don't have as much there to begin with.
Tiny little voltages.
I guess in terms of percentages, though, the ballpark would be the same.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, pretty much, I guess. Like I had I think it might have been my Cobra, 2000. It was supposed to be a voltage on one of the microphone amp stages, and it was very low, almost non-existent. But on the other side of the resistor that feeds it, it was normal. But there was a little electrolytic cap, the ground there, on the other side of the resistor, and I'm like, Sure enough, it was shorted.
That's right. Yeah, sometimes I gotta find high voltages, and it's like, well, this volt should be 390. They got it up to 4 something, 410, 420. Turns out that somebody changed out a resistor trying to get more out of a radio.
Well, yeah, somebody gets in there, and Frankenstein's it, then all bets are off.
Yeah, it kind of offset you because we had one that we were working on where they jacked up everything. And it was like, well, we got to start by rebuilding the power supply and bringing it to normal voltages. The supply voltage, the big gigantic resistors I had to go and buy new ones and start fresh. We had to work off the schematic. That's still an ongoing project.
Nah, but it's all fun.
Yeah, until you get totally frustrated.
Well, it's all fun till somebody pokes somebody's eye out.
Knobs to the right, blue meter lights, run them hard, run them hot, put them away wet. And you put echo in there too to go along with that tickle.
Hey, Tickle.
Yes, sir.
That Viagra board is definitely a blue dollar.
All right, I'm all over it then.
Yeah, we just gotta figure out a way to pass like 2 ships or something.
Well, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, I put it in the car just in case I'm out on the road or something and an opportunity presents itself.
I forget what area you work in.
I'm in Horsham.
That's not far from me.
Not especially, no.
If tomorrow you have it in your car, there's a slight possibility I could catch you at the Turkey Hill if you're willing.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you want that power supply, I can give you that and this thing, and if you see Tickle before I will,
Tickle knows where I live, so he can come over at his convenience.
I could do that.
I think that Galaxy you were talking about is the same, that's the mobile version of my 2547, right? So, the same damn radio.
I think so. It's actually got pretty much the same board as I found out my Ranger.
Yeah, they're very similar. So this thing will fit in any of those. It's designed for that 15 megahertz crystal oscillator or something.
Yep, that's it. Yeah, I went and checked to see which one I took.
Yeah, so it'll work. It worked great in mine. I just took it out because I wanted to put it back to stock.
Breaker. Well, I hear the sounds of Breaker.
I have a question for any of you techs out there that might be able to help me out here. I have a new Cobra 148. I guess I've had it about 6 months. Bone stock. Nothing done to it. And all of a sudden I took a crap here a while back. And I had it checked out by not too good of a tech anyway on the meters. It is now transmitting on 29 megacycles. It won't transmit while received, but when you key it up, it's on 29.64 something. What the hell could be causing that in a stock Cobra 29 or 148? 148, I'm sorry, GTL.
Bad PLL section or something. Or, something related to that. Maybe even a bad regulator.
I don't know. I asked a couple people, man. They said, ooh, one guy said it was some kind of, I don't know anything about a chip or sensor or something in it, but anyway, it was a mystery to a lot of people, and nobody came up with a real conclusive answer yet. And I gave it to a friend of mine, and knowing right up front what the story is, if he wants to mess with this, so perhaps we could find out whatever caused that.
Because usually when the receive and transmit both die like that, it's usually the common element is the PLL that controls both of them.
What is a POL?
The phase lock loop generates your frequencies.
Okay, all right, well, that makes sense, but whatever. I think somebody had said something along those lines also. All right, I'm out of here. Thank you for the input.
Yeah, your PLL came unlocked.
Well, somebody got out of here unlocked it because I didn't.
Well, it'll come unlocked if it's missing something as far as input or voltages or the chip itself.
It might even be a combination of things because usually if the radio has a problem with the final self-oscillating, it usually self-oscillates around 29 megahertz. So if the PLL is dead and there's nothing feeding the final and it decides to take off on its own and self-oscillate, that's where it'll go.
Yeah, it stays right on. We had a couple different meters on it. One a very good meter, and 29.642, I think it was, and it just stays right there. It didn't transmit or receive. Lit up, but that's it. When you key it up, that's what it showed on the board there.
That's a shame. There's newer 148s. I hear a lot of people complaining about them, but they're not made nearly as well as the older ones.
I guess that's it. See you later. goes for us humans, too. What do you think?
The newer 148s, the boards are not made by Uniden anymore.
No, they haven't been for a while. And it's a shame. Those older ones are really good performers. You can find an older 148, keep it, man. Those are great radios.
What is the new one? The one that has a microphone jack in the front of the radio, and the older one's supposedly better. The microphone jack is in the side of the radio. Is that correct?
Yep. The older one's had it in the side.
Okay. Well, I had another one anyway. That's the one I'm talking off of now. The one that comes out the side.
Bear.
Yes.
Incidentally, the phase lock loop circuit takes the place of crystals from days of yore. In other words, that's where you get your channels from. Instead of it being crystal controlled, it's a phase lock loop circuit which generates your frequencies, which means that's your channels. There's the brain right there. If that's dead, then you lose all your channels.
Sounds like an SOL thing to me.
Well, you might be able to rob something out of another radio.
No, that ain't gonna happen. Because I already sold it to another guy. Knowing full well what was wrong with it, he wanted it. So it's no longer in my hands, but it will be interesting to find out when he gets this corrected as to what it is. And when I find that out, I will enlighten you.
Roger. That's my little input, putting it in lay members' terms. PLL takes the place of crystals.
Well, you might as well tell out the walls to tell me that, because I know the difference between crystals, but all other technology, as I said, I know how to spell tech, and that's about as far as I go.
It's one of them big chips in there with like 16 pins.
Could be just the chip itself, man.
Yeah, it could be the chip, or it could be the voltage regulator feeding it.
And they still have a crystal in there, and one crystal there, right?
Well, 148 has more than that. It's got 3 crystals for the carrier oscillator, and another 3 for the carrier offset, or the mixer. So there's like 6, and then there's the reference crystal, so there's like 7 crystals.
There's a big filter section too, right?
Crystal filter? Yeah, for sideband.
Yeah, it's like a big, you look underneath of it, it's just a whole bunch of capacitors, like, crystals taped together on it.
Hello, Tim. Hello, right back. Classic Radio Roundup, Channel 13. It's the Spitfire. Go ahead, Tim. It's all yours. Well, from what we gather, it's stone stock and nobody messed with it. It just gave up the ghost one day.
Yeah, but if you mess with the VCO and you get that off, won't that kill the channels too?
Sparky.
I'd say yes, but what's up, Tickle?
I just looked at a 148 GTL and I have here. There's 11 crystals in it.
11?
11.
Wow. Somebody had extras?
Don't stop.
Are you counting the crystals in the crystal filter?
Well, there's 3, 6, 9 in the crystal pack, that one that's all taped together. And then there's 5 on the board. It's soldered to the board itself.
Yeah, okay. The ones in the pack are the crystal filter. They don't really count. The other ones, like I said, it should be a reference. And then there should be others, 2 others. Yeah. So it should be 3. 3 crystals, and yeah.
He's seeing that schematic in his head.
They're all next to or connected to with a ground strap, little pots.
Yeah, he got them with coils or variable trimmer caps.
That's them things.
know, the pizza place or the steak shop or the fast food place?
10-4. Oh, well, I'll do at some point here. I'll Facebook message you my phone number. If you decide to head towards Montgomeryville tomorrow, I can meet you out there around lunchtime somewhere.
I could probably do that. It wouldn't really be a difficult thing to do. I usually go to lunch at like 11:30 or quarter to 12, somewhere in that area.
That's fine. I don't want to put you out of your way either.
It's really not a big deal, so we could probably do that. I could catch you on the Mud Duck Mobile.
10-4.
Classic radio roundup, swap and shop.
Yeah, pulling classic operators together from every walk of life and every township and county around.
Do you have the instructions of how to put that in?
No, I'm afraid I don't, but that should probably be available on the internet.
Okay, that's what I thought. I think CB Tricks has it, but I didn't check.
Yes, they do. They have both versions of the board. They have the A version and the B, and this is the B, the newer version.
Right, it's all self-contained box-looking thing.
Yeah, it's got a little metal can around it. It's got three little Molex plug kind of things on there. Little. I don't have the cables. I pulled them out of the radio and plugged them back into the original sockets.
Right. I think you're supposed to use the original socket, the original cables out of the radio, but I have them in the Galaxy, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah, because the way this thing works, you basically commandeer your A&L and noise blanker buttons for to operate that thing.
Oh, okay.
So they pull out of the board there, and you plug them into it, and then another wire you pull in, and yeah, it's really not that hard to do. And it was like soldered across a couple of the can was soldered to like a couple of the tuning cans or something in there.
Right, just ground it out.
Yeah, so it's really not difficult. There are a couple of trimmer caps on it, I guess, to align the phase lock. Because it's actually a phase lock to keep the offsets right and everything. But it was set the way it was, and it was working, so you probably don't have to play with that.
Right. Have you ever had any experience with those shiitake diodes, or whatever they call them?
Oh, Schottky diodes.
Yeah, shiitake mushrooms?
Yeah, they're supposed to be better diodes and supposed to help your noise blanker and also help your receive a little bit.
Okay, I was just saying, it was $5, so I ordered the kit that comes with the diodes and the transistor for the receive side.
Oh, what, the $229.99?
I don't know what it is.
I'm going to try that to see if it's supposedly a low noise part or something. But that's something about my Galaxy I really don't like. It seems like it's like when there's no signal there, it's just like a hiss, loud, rushing noise. It's like, oh.
Right, well, I figured for $5, I'll order the kit and put it in and see what it does.
Yeah, that's another one of my to-do list projects. I want to rip into this receiver on this Galaxy and make it hi-fi wide and see if I can't get it to...
Come on. MOSFET or a dual MOSFET final. Because there's kits out there for it. I just don't know if MOSFETs are any better or not.
I don't like them, honestly. Some people have put them in and they claim to get slightly more power out. But if your only reason for doing it is to try to get more power out, don't bother, because a couple of watts more here and there ain't going to make a difference, really. But the one thing about MOSFETs that I don't like is that they're very unstable. The bias window for them is very narrow, and if you don't get it right inside that window, and it starts to heat up, as it goes into thermal runaway, it'll short out or whatever. You can blow it. They're cheap parts. That's not really a problem, but it's just a reliability thing.
No, I'm trying to build a nice, solid, reliable, good listening, good talking radio.
Well, if you got the regular standard final that came with the radio and it's working, leave it alone.
Yeah, it's got the 1969 in it.
I would take a 1969 over a MOSFET any day.
one amp that I just put back in my truck, I thought it was a 455s amp, had two 455s in it, because that's the one I took out, had 454s. No, yeah, 454s. The one I put in had 1446s.
It's always been my philosophy. Run the radio stock, and you want more, put it on the backside.
455s are a 60-watt transistor, 454s are an 80. I think 1446s are also 80. That sounds right. 2290 is an 80-watt part.
And then after that's what the 29, whatever they are.
Yeah, 2879, that's a 100-watt part. Well, that's what it's rated to do, but it'll do a little more than that if you push it hard. That is the pinnacle in the 12-volt market.
That's right. I got a pair of 2879s driving 8 more 2879s. Breaker.
And all that headroom that comes with that. The two driving 8.
Yeah, well, I only got the 2 on right now. There's the 8.
Oh, okay, it's a separate amp then, right?
That's big 10-4, good buddy.
Okay, yeah. So it's a straight 8. I like that.
I like this combination, you know, the 2 driving the 8, or I can, hang on. We can go to the 1 pill. There we go. There's the 1 pill driving the 8. And that's also a 2879.
Amazing how that works. All kinds of combinations. Mine are hybrid though. I got pills driving tubes.
Yeah, I like the flexibility of it, especially with the variable drives. Oh, I can get that big swing, or not. And I can get more or less the same power with the 1 pill driving as the 2 pill driving, really. It's just a 2 pill can really dial it up big or dial it back, you know. Gives you a little more range.
Isn't that funny? Variable on mine too, but it doesn't change the swing because it's a linear. With the bias in there, it's totally linear. What's funny is that these guys buy these boxes. They're like a 1 bias, like a 5-pill, 1x4 or something. Oh, you know, you never want a 2879 driving those other 2879s, but in theory, it's like, why not?
I had the Dave made 5 pill that Sandbagger modified. Take that stinking driver pill out, make it a 4 pill, and everything works great.
Oh, you got Steve's old one.
I had it, and I sold it to number 7. I don't have it anymore.
Actually, I didn't do the mod to that. That Dave made himself did that. Because Steve was driving it with a 2970 RCI, and he's like, you can't do that. You'll burn it up.
Yeah. It worked a whole lot better as a 4 pill than a 5 pill. I think that's like a little ridiculous.
That's what I do with my Texas Star and the Dave made. I pulled the driver stage out. I drive them straight in. With a 4-watt radio, you can get 160 watts out of it, and that's perfect for a dead carrier because those things will only put out about between 600 and 700 watts, and that'll give you just enough headroom.
Now I'm just on the baby driver 1 pill. Maybe about 8 watts carrier.
Nobody gonna talk while I got the mall tail.
Alright, I think it's about time to end the gate.
Yeah, I can turn the variable down. There we go. Now it's down to the floor until it's just barely above barefoot.
Yeah, actually I turned the scale down. I'm at 6 watts, swinging at 30 watts at the peak.
Did you turn the gate off countywide?
Not yet. I'm getting ready to though. I've exceeded my hour limit and I'm in the danger zone.
Yeah, you don't want to risk it.
As for kings or sons, changed terms and conditions may apply. All rights reserved.